Hi, everyone. This is Pete Samick, AIFD, and I work at FTD in the quality department at CX Insights. So today I'm here to share with you some information about using the labor saver bouquets that are available through the Flower Exchange. So we have the holidays are approaching, and you want to be organized and try to have a smooth, easygoing holiday because you know that it's going to get super busy. So you want to try to be organized and stay ahead of the rush. So what we're going to share with you today is some best practices on using the labor savers. Just so for your information, we have 6 FTD SKUs or items that are available, plus one combo box that has 5 of the 6 SKUs. All of the labor savers are built in the deluxe size. So that's the middle version. And then you can adjust either up or down to fulfill FTD.com orders. Some of the benefits of working with the labor savers, one, just what the name says, it saves time and labor. For those of you who have maybe new employees or designers that don't have a lot of floral experience, it gives you an opportunity to have them put these bouquets together, get them in vases, and fulfill orders. Also, it gives you, like I said, to adjust to certain price points, so you can add stems or remove stems to meet whatever the order is calling for. There's also less worry because the designs, the bouquets are built to recipe, and occasional substitution may be necessary, but I will talk about that later. Also, for those of you who have walk-in traffic in your stores, these are great designs and arrangements to have ready to go for that customer that's in a hurry and just grab and go. You know, they don't want to spend a lot of time making a decision. And so if you have this ready to go, there's no worry there. And also it gives you an opportunity to upsell. So you might have a deluxe version of, say, Best Day, and maybe the guy that's buying the flowers says, oh, my wife loves white lilies. Could you add additional stems and get a higher sale? Of course. So those are just some tips and some benefits, and let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we want to do is they come already bundled, ready to go in a sleeve. So we want to remove the sleeve and the rubber bands. And you can see that the bouquet is already built for you from the farm and ready to go. So we have a nice presentation here, and I will call out on some of the cremones or the larger chrysanthemums, and the sunflowers, they come with a little nets. So you're going to want to remove those very easily so that we can get the flowers to breathe and open up and be ready to go for the holiday. Then this is the Best Day Bouquet, or the BDB, and this is the deluxe version. So we're just going to put it into a generic ginger jar. So our next step is to size the bouquet to the vase. So you can see if I just cut off maybe 1 inch, the bouquet is going to be a little bit too tall. So I need to cut off, I need to just kind of measure here where I need to go. But I'm actually going to cut off about 3 inches. And then let's go ahead and fit this into the vase, and we'll see how it forms. I think this is not a bad presentation right here. It's a little bit airier at the top, but for care and handling, the consumer, every other day, they should actually take this out, change the water, replenish the flower food, and then cut off another inch of stem. So that'll give them the opportunity to enjoy the flowers much, much longer. You also see that some of the roses are a little on the tight side, but that's okay because we want a long shelf life for our consumer to enjoy. And also, like with the lilies that are tucked in the center here, they're showing color, so they will open. So we have a nice long vase life with this particular design. So this is our first one. Chop and drop is another term that we use, or labor saver, for the Best Day Bouquet. And if we're ready to go, we'll just include the enclosure card, delivery tag, put it on a pick, stick it in there, and it's ready for delivery. Hi, so on our Labor Saver bouquets, we're going to look at another long-lasting arrangement that has been with FTD for quite a long time. It's Light of My Life, and this is a very popular SKU. You can see we've already got one here in our cinch base, and you can see that it has a nice presentation. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut this one and put it into our cinch base. Before we get into that though, just a couple more items or information on these Labor Savers. These bouquets, when you place your order, they're built and shipped from Colombia. And from the time you place the order, they're shipped in within 48 hours from farm to your door. So that's a pretty quick turnaround. So you can have these in less, basically in 2 days. And we also have quality control people on the ground for the holiday that will be at the farms. So they will be overseeing the quality of the flowers, the making sure that the recipes are correct, and all of that is going on. So again, really a valuable tool, especially at the holiday, to use these bouquets to really, when you get that rush of orders. So with Light of My Life, again, we want to just repeat this process. You want to take the cello wrap and the rubber bands off. Remove that. And you can see, again, we have a nice presentation of our roses. You can see that it has good color balance. We've got the dark magenta going around with the chrysanthemums, lavender from side to side, and the beautiful roses are sprinkled all the way through. So the next thing we want to do is we want to size the bouquet to the vase. And unlike a tall cylinder vase, like our gold dip vase, which is a tall cylinder, you can see that this small cinch vase is really kind of low and wide. So instead of trying to trim just a couple inches off the stem, you can see that this is not going to work, that the flowers are really going to spill out too far. So we need to really cut this much, much shorter to accommodate the vase. So let's try cutting off about 6-7 inches of the stems here to see how we do. And another key point is to remove any foliage that's going to go below the water line. So I'm just holding it like I was making a hand-tied bouquet and pulling away some of that foliage. We don't want any of the foliage to go underwater to prevent that flowers, the leaves from decaying and rotting and making the water bad. Okay, so I've cleaned up the stems and we'll see how this falls out. So here you can see that it's a little bit, maybe another inch. It's a little bit too tall. It's kind of flopping out a little bit. So, hey, practice is perfect, right? We can go ahead and remove another inch. And with fresh flowers, you can always make the stems shorter, but you can never make them longer. So if it takes 1 or 2 cuts, then it's not a problem. You're saving so much time from selecting all these different varieties out of the refrigerator. And you can see, we just kind of adjust the stems a little bit to get that nice presentation. Check the roses for any guard petals that are damaged or bruised. Also, any of the foliage, same thing, if it's bruised or broken, we want to remove that so that we get a nice presentation for the customer. Then all we have to do is add the enclosure card and the delivery tag, and we're ready to go. So for our last Labor Saver bouquet, we have one that really truly is Valentine's Day colors. It's a combination of red carnations, red mini carnations, and red roses. This is the heartstrings bouquet. And here again, you can see this one is featured in a red vase. So here we have an 8-inch vase, a red one that we're going to be using to place in our Labor Saver. So again, we want to do that same step. We're just going to cut away the sleeve, and we're going to get rid of the rubber band. And I'm just going to adjust the foliage here a little bit. It's a little tall, so I'm going to just tuck that in so that we really showcase the flowers. And with the taller vase, again, you can see we're going to size the bouquet. So we don't need to cut off too much, maybe about 2 inches or so, 2.5. So we'll give that a little quick cut. So, and make sure the stems are nice and clean, no foliage below the water line. Let's see how we did. Yeah, so this has nice spacing. You can see that we have given all the flowers a little bit of room around each other. And if the carnations are a little tight, you can grab a hold of the green calyx here. And you can actually fluff them open to give them a little bit better show. And this bouquet, again, is built into deluxe size. The Alstroemeria is a little on the tight side, and the roses you can see are at a cut stage of 2. So this is on purpose so that we have longer vase life for the customer to enjoy. And again, we'll instruct them every other day, remove the bouquet, cut off an inch of stem, change the water, replace it with flower food, and they'll have that to enjoy throughout the holiday. So this is heartstrings bouquet. And one thing to note that sometimes we have to do substitutions. So this particular bouquet, we had to substitute the salal tips for cocculus foliage. This is an approved substitution, so you don't have to worry about that. It's no problem. And actually cocculus is a very long-lasting tropical foliage. And it has a nice dark green color, and it is really great for this type of design. So if there's any questions, or if you're interested in purchasing your Labor Saver bouquets, contact FTD Flower Exchange and get a hold of your salesperson, and they'll give you more information. So I hope you enjoyed our discussion today on all the tips and benefits of Labor Savers. Hopefully you can utilize these designs, and you'll have a smooth, very busy holiday. Happy Valentine's Day from everybody here at FTD.